Perhaps one of the most important environments that your child may struggle in is the classroom setting. So in this video, we're going to talk about how you can work with the school and the teachers so that we can better support the students together. There are various programs that's established by the federal government to support children with learning disabilities and learning differences. There are two main ones that we're going to discuss today. And the first one pertains particularly to children with ADHD. And the second one, which is IEP, takes consideration of students who may have additional learning disabilities. First of all, the first one that can support most children with ADHD is called the 504 accommodation. 504 accommodation, the name comes from Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. As you know, this is an old federal law that's been revamped many times. I think the last time was in 1993. That's called the acronym IDEA, which it's an updated form of the federal law supporting children. And the 504 basically means that the classroom setting needs to be set up in such a way that can optimize learning for students so that all students, regardless of their physical or mental limitations, can have equal access to the same education material as everyone else. So children with ADHD oftentimes can benefit from a more flexible examination time. So if he or she may need more time to take an exam, additional time may be granted. Or during examination, the environment could be changed to an alternate setting, such as the library, to minimize distraction noises. And also, flexible deadlines for classroom work and homework assignments can be granted to students. If something is due on a Friday, maybe the students could turn in the same assignments on Monday without being penalized or having points taken off. Basically, it's more flexible with schedules. And another frequent aspect of 504 is preferred seating, which means children with ADHD can be seated closer to the teacher to minimize distraction from other peers. And also, this would give the teacher more easy access to the student to more closely supervise the student and kind of recall them for attention, refocusing. Any good teacher would automatically apply all these measures on their own, but as we all know, not all teachers are created equal, and some teachers really need additional reminders from the school district or parents. One of the things I want to mention is that once 504 accommodation is established, it is up to the parents to make sure that these are being implemented, and each teacher may elect to implement these his or her own way. So after you give the letter, which is something that you get from the pediatrician or the psychiatrist, you give this to either the principal, the counselor, or the teacher. Make sure that there is a file, it's filed in the child's progress. And it's up to the parent to make sure that what's actually happening in the classroom is being done according to the 504 that's agreed upon. Oftentimes, the 504 is submitted and established and filed, but nothing changes in the classroom setting. So, in fact, it's a nullified process. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is IEP. IEP stands for Individualized Education Plan. So IEP is specifically designed for children with learning disability or specific learning disorder. This includes dyslexia, which is more commonly known, dyscalculia, which is people who struggle with math primarily. Dyslexia, I want to go into a little bit further, is it's not just about flipping letters. Whenever I mention dyslexia, everyone said, "Oh, just flipping the B's and T's," um, but that's not it. Dyslexia is about converting written language into meaning, and there are various steps of the way that the process can break down. Some children, they can decode the letters, they can recognize the letters, figure out the phonemes, figure out how the word sounds, and read them, and they can do all that fluently, and yet they don't understand what they're reading. They can read a passage beautifully like a newscaster, but they have no comprehension. Or the breakdown of the process can occur early. They could have problem even recognizing the letters. The letters may jumble up, or the orders of the letters in the word can switch back and forth. So instead of saying set, they will say test, or reverse the letters. They will skip letters. They will make up words because they have problem understanding them. They just get confused. Or they have problem, or their fluency is extremely low, so that they can only read 10 words per minute, where it's so slow that they can't possibly comprehend the overall meaning of the passage. So in this case, an IEP is established to really give them a different set of curriculum, because the students with these learning differences can simply not keep up with the rest of the class at a current pace or the standard mainstream curriculum. So this is about special education. And this is not appropriate for children with simply ADHD. This is oftentimes for children with ADHD and dyslexia, for example. And these surprisingly occurred very commonly together. About a third of the kids with ADHD can suffer some form of specific learning disorder as well. So that must be taken into consideration during the initial evaluation. All right, I think that covers the most two common types of intervention that a school can provide. And I will go over maybe another video specifically about dyslexia, which I can go into great depth. All right, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.